Afternoon, 22 minutes after the hour, 2 o'clock. And once again, this is Howlin The Blues with the Blues Hound and Baby Girl. And we have a very special guest here in the studio. He lives in Bristol over in the UK. And he has been here the last few days in Houston and out in Vegas. He did a marathon drive from Vegas here, then stopped in Austin for a little bit, and just kind of seeing America, his first time here in the States. And just let me welcome to the time Mr. Ruzz Evans. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you.
And welcome to the good old US of A.
Thank you. It's great to actually.
What is your immediate impression of the bright lights and big city of Vegas, and then traveling through the desert?
Vegas is quite impressive. I mean, it's, like we've said before, that there's stuff that that you see on TV and films, it doesn't do it justice. When you actually get there, it's like, whoa, okay, this is big. It's bigger than anything we got at home.
Yeah, we talked about getting from El Paso to Houston. It's like halfway to LA. That's that's quite a drive.
Yeah, well, we didn't go straight from Vegas to here. We stopped off in LA to visit Norm's Rare Guitars, because I mean, as a guitarist, I've got to while I'm in that area. And then we stopped off in Scottsdale to meet up with Joe Carducci from Gretsch. And then, started heading down from Arizona over to Texas. And it was about, I think we did a 12, 13-hour drive before we stopped, about 2 hours out from Austin, mainly because we just couldn't keep going anymore. We had to...
in 13 hours, you could probably circumnavigate the entire UK.
Near enough. Yeah.
It's a lot of territory, a lot of hills, a lot of cactus out there in West Texas. Tell our listeners a little bit about you and your background. We all know you're from the UK, and you're a young player, 25 years old.
Yep.
How long have you been playing guitar? And
I've been playing guitar about 10 years. Well, I've been playing about 10 years, and I think my dad got a bass guitar about 12 years ago, and was relearning to play that. He used to play back in the 80s and in various bands around Bristol. And I started kind of picking up the bass guitar, and he taught me a few things. And then he showed me got me a DVD of George Thorogood from their 30th anniversary tour. And I saw that man playing slide guitar. I went, I got to do that. That's cool. So I started learning to play open tune slide guitar like George Thorogood, and then a band from the UK, Dr. Feelgood. I've been listening to them since I've been tiny. Dad's loved them for years, and I started really paying attention to the original guitarist Wilco Johnson, and realised that most of what he was doing on the guitar was not too dissimilar from what I'd already been doing. It was standard tuning, but with what I was doing with my right hand, it wasn't that different. So I managed to learn what he was doing, and I was really enjoying that. And then Jimmy Vaughan came into my life with the Fabulous Thunderbirds, and as soon as I heard that, it just blew my mind, and that I knew I had to go down that blues route for definite.
Got to do that. Now, I see you're wearing a Gretsch T-shirt. I am. And I understand you're an official Gretsch
very proudly
endorsee.
Yes,
very
proudly.
How did that all come about?
I've loved Gretsch for years and years. Since I started playing guitars, some of my favourite players played Gretsch, and I loved the sound of them, and dreamed to have a Gretsch guitar one day. And I managed to get some Electromatics that were fantastic. And a few years down the line, I was playing with various bands around Bristol, and I started getting in contact with somebody on YouTube that booked one of my favourite guitarists from Canada, Mr. Paul Pagat. Booked him in Holland, and he started messaging me because he really liked the band that I was playing in, and liked my guitar playing at the time. And so we started talking, and when I found out that he booked Paul Pagat and his band Cousin Harley, I said to him, look, is there any way that we could possibly work something out and we come over? Because he was desperate to book us anyway. I said, well, could we work out like a double gig? So they put on this street party just outside this bar that Paul Pagat played quite a bit, and put us both on the same billing, and I got to jam with him and hang out with him for the weekend, and absolutely fantastic weekend. And he's endorsed by Gretsch as well. So I kind of approached the questions like, can you give me any advice on how to get endorsed by Gretsch? He goes, oh, no, so I'll put your name in and I'll help you out with this. And this was in 2012, and he put my name forward to Joe Carducci, and I think they were kind of watching what I was doing, but I wasn't doing enough to tick off their checklist of what they normally look for.
Right.
Until I started the project I'm doing now, Ruzz Guitar's Blues Review. it became my business. I can do what I wanted, as much as I wanted, wherever I wanted, which meant I can book up a lot. And once I started doing that, they then took notice because you could tell it was a lot more of a professional outfit, that I was really going for it. And I just emailed them again last August and just said, "Hi Joe, I'm Ruzz Evans. Paul Bagat's told you about me a couple of times. I was just wondering if you'd be interested in a possible endorsement." And I sent him loads of links and stuff, and he replied almost the next day saying, "Yes, we're definitely interested. Can we have a phone call?" And that was like the 27th of August. By the 1st of September, I was endorsed, and almost living in a very hazy dream state.
Well, once again, congrats. That's quite an honor
yeah.
to be able to get picked up like that. Now, we talked a little bit off air about this. You know, the Gretsch guitar that you have in your hand and the 335 have a lot of similarities, but on the other hand, they're completely different.
Yeah.
What is a guitar player? Why? What's the tone difference, or what is it particular that?
I think with this one, it's different pickups to 335. So these are Gretsch Filtertrons. So they got a lot more of a glacier twang to them, which I really love. I love that kind of Gretsch twang. But yeah, it feels slightly different to me. It plays slightly different for me. That just how I feel. It's hard, like I said, it's hard to explain.
Hard to describe, yeah.
But like other guitar players,
I'm sure guitar players out there listening know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, there's some things with some guitars you just can't put your finger on what it is that makes them different. There's even guitars that the same models can be slightly different. It's just how they were made on a day or something like that. But yeah, it's very, very difficult.
Each one is a unique unto itself.
It is, yeah.
Good afternoon. If you just tuned in, we have Master Ruzz Evans here in the studio. He's been kind of kicking around here for the last few days and trying to see what's going on around town. I've kind of steered him to a couple of things that are going to be happening this evening.
Yep.
He kind of hit some of the hot spots. But he's been here, and he has your most recent release is it's a project called Ruzz Guitar Blues Review, and the title track is called the name of the CD is called Burnout. When was this released? And tell me a little bit about the backstory.
We released it at the end of November last year, and we'd already done one album in 2015, which was more like a demo just to get more gigs and to get going. But for this one, we wanted to kick it up a notch and get the horn section involved, and we got a special guest, Pete Gage, who used to sing for Dr. Feelgood after the original singer Lee Brillo died, and it was an absolute honour to have him playing. He's a lovely guy and
one
fantastic.
of your primary influences there.
Yeah. So to have somebody that was in Dr. Feelgood playing on my album, it's very surreal but incredible achievement.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a fantastic keys player and singer. He sings a couple of the songs on there, and we knew we had to bump it up a gear for this one, hence why we got the horns involved, and I'm very proud of it.
You'll put a lot of punch anytime you put horns on a project.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm very proud.
Where was this recorded?
It was recorded in Bristol in a studio called Bink Bonk. It's
any particular reason you chose that?
Well, we recorded a demo though. The guy that runs it is a friend of my bassist and a good friend of ours now. And I trust him with my life with this stuff.
Okay, he's got some history there.
He really knows what he's doing, and I really trust his opinion on what we're doing. So if we're going in there with a song, if he says, "Why don't you try something more like this?" I really trust him to not be trying to twist it in a way that we're not comfortable going in. For me, anyone I work with, I need to really trust that they're not just gonna try and get their own way or steer things in their own direction.
Influence one way or the other, make it their project.
But he's fantastic. So yeah, I'll always go and record for him.
Now let me ask you a little bit about the blues and rock and roll, R&B and rockabilly. There's some similarities. There's threads that run through all those particular genres. But you've been doing a lot of rockabilly up until late. Now you're kind of branching out into more of a bluesy area.
Yeah,
would that be a correct?
Well, I'm trying to go back to my roots. I was playing a lot of blues bands before I joined rockabilly bands, and it just so happened that I was getting a lot of work for the rockabilly bands. So it was harder to get back to the blues stuff, which is why once I started my own project, it was kind of this is what I love, this is what I want to do. I call it the blues review because I love all music that's come from the blues. So it's like rock and roll, rockabilly. Or
any fear of getting pigeonholed in one area or other?
I'm happy to be pigeonholed into the blues area, but I love and play so many different genres of music that comes from it. I prefer to almost call myself just a roots musician. So yeah, with this band, that was definitely my idea was to take all of my influences. And
well, I got the new CD queued up.
Cool.
Once again, the new CD is called Burnout. We have a song called Moving On queued up. You want to cue this up for us? Tell us a little bit about the song, then we'll give it a spin.
It's a song that I wrote a while back when there's a few people that they didn't exactly do what they said they were going to do for me, and they were still expecting me to help them out with other stuff. So I was in a bit of an angry space when I wrote it, but it doesn't say it's like an upbeat kind of more soul blues song. But it just came out and thought, well, there's one song for the album. So yeah.
Don't get mad. Write a song about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Ruzz Evans right here in the studio, KPFT.
Long
brand new music here to KPFT, Mr. Ruzz Evans. The new CD is called Ruzz Guitar's Blues Review. Burnout is the actual name of the CD. And we just heard Moving On. Hope you enjoyed that. We have Ruzz right here in the studio. A UK citizen on loan for the next day or so. You'll be here tomorrow, or you go back tomorrow?
We're hitting the road again tomorrow. We're heading off to New Orleans and then Nashville, doing a open mic with a friend of ours. And then up towards Michigan to do a few more gigs on the last weekend with another friend of mine. And then we're heading out of Chicago back home.
In New Orleans, remember 2 streets, Frenchman Street and Magazine.
Right.
One for food, one for music.
Cool, yeah.
You won't go wrong. Well, Ruzz, welcome to the show and your time in Texas. We hope you've had a pleasant stay. Now, we know a lot of cats that, like myself, the first introduction to the blues world, other than hearing people like Jimmy Reed and B.B. King, came from the UK. Cats like the Stones and the Yardbirds and John Mayall and folks like that. And then we kind of reversed engineered when you start getting the album cover. And well, back in the day when we bought albums, not CDs or downloads, and you'd look like, who's this McKinley Morganfield cat, or who's this whoever, like Howlin' Wolf or anybody else out there, Willie Dixon, and then you'd start let's figure out who this guy is.
Yeah.
Then you kind of reverse engineer and find out where it all came from. Like, well, it was in our backyard all along. How come they weren't playing these guys on radio, at least the radio that I was listening to? And it's kind of the other way around with you. It's like, your backyard is full of players, but American roots music is what was really getting imported off the ships and everything. Like, this is what it's in demand. The really cool thing. How did American music play a role in your life? I mean, you mentioned a lot of UK cats so far, but I know people like Brian Setzer from the Stray Cats.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Brian Setzer.
You did mention Jimmy Vaughan.
Yeah, Brian Setzer and Jimmy Vaughan are some of my biggest influences, especially Brian Setzer for the rockabilly stuff, and I love his orchestra. So the big band swing thing, it's just.
I had the pleasure of seeing that a couple of times. Very impressive.
Yeah, I'm yet to see the orchestra. I don't think he hasn't come to the UK in a time that I've been old enough to be aware of him. He may have popped over one time when I was probably too young to have gone anyway, but.
Now I have to ask Baby Girl this.
I'm not saying what year we saw.
No. That wasn't the question. Did we see 2 Christmas shows? We saw a Christmas show and a regular show.
Yes.
So we saw one. It was a big Christmas extravaganza, and then a regular show that he was playing some of his more big band tunes. Of course, some of the Stray Cat material, but he was
we're going to see him in
almost
July in London.
Sinatra-esque.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Well, he's doing his Rockabilly Riot tour in London. I mean, he's going around Europe and stuff, but he's only doing one show in London. We've managed to get a ticket for it. I tried to get the opening slot, but I think somebody beat me to it. But,
a little too slow, huh?
Yeah, but next time I might just come out to the States and open for him then.
Now, are you you're still representing yourself? You don't have under a management team right now?
No, I do everything myself at the moment. I put out my own music. Like I said to you, me and my bassist we meet up, have a cup of tea and a business chat in his kitchen every 2 months just to get the next plan of where we're taking things. I got a few people that I trust for advice and stuff. So I got Cousin Harley's manager in Canada, Kathy Campbell, is giving me a lot of advice on where to go to help getting out to here, getting to Canada, any promoters in Europe. But the majority of the gigs I book up are all me. I just sit at a computer most of my life and contact people.
Get lost in the surfing, right?
Yep.
Now, as someone who's rather isolated from the UK blues scene or rockabilly scene, is there anybody that I should probably have on my radar that I would otherwise not? Because I'm kind of connected with with some of the UK blues scene. There's some websites that I will visit periodically, but like follow the British Blues Awards. But there's a lot of names that are not readily recognizable, even to me, and I consider myself a pretty savvy blues consumer. Been in the business for like 30 years.
Yeah.
And it always amazes me how much talent there is in names that I don't even recognize. Anybody out there that you think that I should have a special note of?
I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Other than Pete Gage, who sang with us, I mean, the stuff he does is fantastic. And in the kind of the rockabilly world, Darl Hyam is another big guy around the UK at the moment. He used to work with Imelda May.
We were just talking about Imelda May. She got a brand new CD out. I have yet to get, but I understand it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, from what I've heard, it's very good. I really like it. It's getting mixed reviews at home at the minute with the rockabilly crowd, but because
it's probably straying from what she's done in the past.
Yeah.
There, people aren't used to that. They want to hear what they're used to.
Yeah, but I'm so open-minded to so many genres of music that as soon as I heard it, it's like, I see where you're going with that. I quite like this. It works for me.
Well, there's two kinds of music. There's good music and people trying to play good music.
Yeah. Yes.
Mr. Ruzz Evans here in the studio visiting with us today. He's been touring around the southwest part of the United States, winded up here in Texas, and once again headed off to New Orleans and up to Memphis, Tennessee. You're going to love Memphis as well. Make sure you go by the Blues Foundation's Blues Museum and everything.
Yeah.
All the museums and everything. Got to go to Stax.
Yeah.
Stax Records Museum. A lot of wonderful stuff there. But hey, we got a guitar in your hand and you got a microphone in front of you. I understand you're going to play a couple of instrumentals here.
Yeah. I play parts of a couple of my instrumentals.
Are these your own tunes
they
that
are,
we're fixing to play?
They are.
And can they be found on any of your recorded albums?
You can find them on iTunes, Amazon.com, Google Play, on our website, thebluesreview.com. We sell CDs through that, and also you can download it through that as well. They're available everywhere, and it should be fairly easy to find.
All right, we'll let you play one, and we'll come back and we'll talk back more on the other side. Ruzz Evans.
Thank you.
Live here in the studio at KPFT. That's some mighty fancy picking there.
Thank you.
Who would you consider would be the most influence on that particular style of picking?
Paul Begat. When I wrote it, we filmed it. When we were rehearsing it, we filmed the rehearsals. And just so we can watch it back and listen back and see exactly what we were doing before we record it or go and gig it live, so we don't have to rehearse too much. And I listened back to it and just go, oh my God, that just sounds like Cousin Hardy. So it's like, I'm sorry, Paul, but I was listening to a lot of Cousin Hardy at the time.
I am familiar with Cousin Hardy. I have think at least one of his CDs.
Yeah, one of my favourite bands, definitely. They're absolutely fantastic.
If you just tuned in, we have Mr. Ruzz Evans here in the studio. Not going to be here long enough, but if you want to see him around town tonight, we know you're definitely going to be headed over to the Shakespeare Pub sometime this evening.
Yes, I can't pass up a jam session.
Yeah. well, Spare Murray is the host of one of the longest running blues jams here in Houston. That starts at 8:30, and Shakespeare is located at 14129 Memorial Drive. So if you happen to be out and about and want to come by and check out Ruzz and see some of that fancy picking firsthand, that's where you might find him. And of course, I was telling him about Mark May and Mr. Eric Dimmer playing over at Emmett's. I think does that start at 6:30, baby girl?
6 o'clock.
At 6 o'clock. So you have time to maybe double dip there, run by.
We'll run it by my driver.
we have his chauffeur over the studio.
Yeah. No, I'm very grateful for Scott. He's been absolute fantastic help.
Well, tell us a little about Scott. I mean, Scott, we got to throw Scott a little bit here.
Oh yeah, I mean we could always get him in to have a quick chat this second. But Scott's been incredibly supportive of what I've been doing for years. He runs an internet radio show called Hank's Americana, and you can find him on Facebook. And I really recommend it. Tune into that. It's always on.
Just Hank's Americana with that bring it. Okay.
Yeah.
HanksAmericana.com.
So he does like a blues weekend where from Friday till Sunday?
Friday 5 p.m. to Sunday 10 p.m.
Yeah, Friday 5 p.m. till Sunday 10 p.m. and it's all blues all weekend. And then Monday to Wednesday is a mix of rockabilly. It's just Americana stuff. And then Thursdays is rockabilly Thursdays. So there's a great mix of stuff on there. And he's been playing my stuff for a few years, and I really, really appreciate everything he's done. And he's one of the guys that really helped me get a gig here and get into Houston.
Come to the U.S.
Yeah. Yes, I can't thank Scott enough.
All right, well, hats off, Scott.
Yeah,
appreciate it. Now, when you get back home, what are your plans? Do you have any tour dates already scheduled? Any recording dates in mind?
We haven't got any recording dates yet, but just before I came out, me and my bassist Joanne were talking about as soon as we get back, starting up another thing. So we got a lot of bigger things kind of in the works. So we need a few albums ready for those. I can't delve any details just yet
because
it's still in the works.
Yeah, you don't want to put any mojo on.
No. We got a few local shows for a couple of months, and then in October I'm working on a European tour. At the minute we're around Holland and Belgium. I think we're venturing into Germany as well, so I'm working on that. But again, as soon as I get home, I'm going to be booking up more stuff out here and getting back here as soon as possible.
Well, that's the hope. So make sure you let us know when you come back.
Definitely,
we'll get together with you guys again. Mr. Ruzz Evans here in the studio. He's still got his guitar in his hand, and now that he's got his fingers limbered up nicely, we're going to do another one. I understand this one is called a Dirt Track. And tell us a little bit about this song and the meaning behind it.
I've had this riff for must be about 6 years, and I could never finish it. I don't know why, it just didn't happen until we started this one, and it finished itself. It's a bit of a country chicken picking kind of faster thing. I won't play the whole thing because you kind of, for most of the solo parts, you'd need the drums and stuff in there. But the main riff I'll do now. But yeah, I'm a big fan of people like Albert Lee, Brent Mason.
We can just stop at Albert Lee. I mean, that's
exactly. Yeah.
Albert, he's
all these pickers like that.
Incredible.
Yeah. And I always wanted to have an instrument or a faster chicken picking song. Like Albert's got Country Boy, Brett Mason's got Hot Wired, and I was thinking I need to have something like that just for like an end of the night song. We normally do it at the end of the night when people want an encore. It's a nice short fast one, and yeah, it took me years to finish it. I'm so glad it's finished now, and I can finally get it out there.
Perseverance.
I think it's definitely the one that it helped tip over the Gretsch endorsement thing. I sent them a video of this, so it really showed that how diverse what I was trying to do was, and I think it helped get the endorsement. I hope it helped.
Well, whatever it was, it worked.
Yeah.
You know, recently we had a gentleman back from your home turf, Mr. Richard Townend.
Oh, right.
And his obviously his big influence is Mark Knopfler.
Oh, yeah.
And he kind of kind of elaborated a little bit as well. So I see some similarities there in that finger picking style. And of course, you talk about American players do the same thing. People like Vince Gill, normally considered as a country crooner, a balladeer, but you put a guitar in him, and he's one of the finest guitar players in that particular style that you could ever find.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, we got Ruzz here in the studio, and we're going to turn him loose and let him do his thing.
So on and so forth.
Ruzz Evans once again here in the KPFT. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that.
No, thank you for having me in.
That very opening intro of that song kind of reminds me a little of a little Roy Gallagher-esque.
Yeah.
Are you?
I had that.
Fans of Roy?
Oh yeah, big fan. Yeah, I love Roy and Gary Moore as well. But yeah, not a lot of people tend to pick that out. A lot of people pick out the Brian Setzer in my playing, which I have no problem with as well when I'm playing the rockabilly stuff, because I'm not ashamed to say I nicked a lot of the stuff from him. But yeah, no, it's always nice when people come up and say things like that and they actually notice, because I got so many influences from so many genres. Yeah. I mean, like with the soul thing, I got like Steve Cropper as one of my biggest influences there.
Very influential. I mean, just anything that was on the Stax label. He had his handprint right on there.
Yeah. So yeah, it's always nice when somebody comes on and goes, "Hey, I was noticing a bit of Rory Gallagher in your playing. Is that true?" It's like, well, yeah, but I didn't think you'd noticed that.
Yeah, well, we were kind of hip to Rory very early on when he first started doing the cross-Atlantic promotion, and fortunate enough that Colleen worked with Rory's aunt for numerous years, so there's always a kind of a connection there. With that, so it's good that you're to hear that legacy being carried on in your playing. Well, Ruzz, once again, we'd like to thank you for taking the time to come by.
Thank you for having me in.
Hope you had an enjoyable day here.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And, thanks for having me in. It's a privilege, definitely.
And hopefully we have something we have to do immediately after the show, but maybe we can meet up somewhere down the road later on this evening.
Yeah, definitely.
And hear some more of your music. And we encourage everybody, once again, if they're out and about, we know you'll be at Shakespeare. We don't know about the image yet, but look, Scott's, I think he's shaking his head. Yeah. We're going to do that. We're going to do that. Yeah. So one of the two places. In closing, anything else you'd like to say to our listeners out there? You have an audience out here hanging on your words.
Just watch out, I'll be back. Definitely be back.
Give them once again the best way to contact you and find out more about your music. Or
the best way would be thebluesreview.com, and that's review spelled REVUE. It's got links to our Facebook page, Twitter. It's got our email address on there. It's got our store for CDs and T-shirts, and all the information they could possibly need. So yeah, thebluesreview.com is probably the best place.
All right. Well, thanks again for coming by and everything.
Thank you.
It's nice visiting. We get to know a little bit more about you and your music, and really looking forward to having you back here stateside.
I'm looking forward to coming back.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks again.